It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and I want to start off with this review by saying a massive thank you to Michael in the Czech Republic for setting me up with this one beer. I'm going to show off 2 beers. He sent 4. He sent 4 beers. I've reviewed 2 already. I've got 2 left, but they're both American Pale Ales. They're both called number 12. Now we'll talk about the Czech naming system with beer in a moment, but I want to show these beers off first. They're both 5.1% ABV, and they're both number 12. One's in a striking 750 milliliter bottle, a brown bottle with a white cap. It's Zichovec Brewery in the Czech Republic, and it's the number 12 Mosaic American Pale Ale, 750 milliliter. That's for another time. So if you want to see a review of that beer, check it out in the next few days, or if you watch it in months to come, put in the brewery number 12 and you'll find the review, the Mosaic review on YouTube. But we're going to be kicking off today with this beer. It's in a 500 milliliter can, 5.1% ABV. Ignore the condensation. The can has been out the fridge about an hour, so it's had time to warm up a little bit. Yeah, I like to warm the beer up a little bit just to enjoy more of the malt taste, more of the hop taste. So let's go ahead and get it out into a glass and see what we get. It's probably a little bit less striking than the bottle. Now, I've had this discussion with 3 breweries in 2023. And it goes back to, like, when canned craft beer first become a thing, probably a good 8 years ago now, it was striking, because the only beer you used to see in can was Carlin, Foster's, Coors, Budweiser, and it was kind of like, it was canned beer was seen as like poor quality. But the craft brewers started putting it in cans, and it changed everything. It changed the whole kind of like aspect of like how beer was packaged for a number of years. But 2023 has brought a little bit of a change, because everybody's canning now. Everybody's putting their beers in cans. Now I'll ask you guys a question, and I want you to comment in the comments box. If you've seen this bottle, regardless of the hops, forget about the hops for a moment. If you've seen this bottle on the shelf, exactly the same, 5.1% American Pale Ale, just different hops, which would you pick up in 2023, now that everything's canned? Would you pick up the 500 milliliter can, or would you pick up the rather lovely looking 750 milliliter bottle? And the discussion with breweries goes a bit like this. They're going back to bottling. Some of the breweries out there are going back to bottling. I spoke to a Norwegian brewer just last week who said he's gone back to bottling because he's finding that people are buying the beer more in bottle because everything's canned these days. Anyway, comment in the comments box. Leave your thoughts on that. I wasn't expecting to go down that road. I go off on a blooming tantrum, a tandem, don't I? But it's just interesting thoughts, isn't it? It's things that enter your head that you never know that's going to enter your head, and it's kind of worth discussing about. Three-finger white head, a nice tight fluffy white head, good levels of carbonation as the beer rises up the glass. It's a kind of on its way to being a straw coloured, very, very light amber coloured pale ale. This glass has that kind of etching on, so it's probably, the carbonation's a little bit more exaggerated than it probably would normally be if there was no etching in the glass. Let's get the aroma on the beer. Wow. piney. It's like an old school American Pale Ale, which is exactly what it says on the can. American Pale Ale. Piney, zesty, orange peel, grapefruit, lemon peel. It smells rather fantastic, it really does. Light, crisp. They might have used lager malts in this. They might have used just a really light malt. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that is a very, very good, solid, drinkable, dependable. Am I allowed to use that word? Like an old friend, a dependable pale ale. I can imagine this being on the shelf an awful lot in the Czech Republic, and you know, it's one of those reliable beers that you go, do you know what? You check the TV guide, there's a good football match on, and you think, yeah, I'm going to nip down the shop, get a couple of beers, put them in the fridge, and watch the match with a couple of beers. And this will probably be one of them, because it's just good. It's solid, it's drinkable, it's great. Great beer. Oh. Great drinkability. Really, really good drinkability to the beer. Great finish. Great little bit of sweetness to begin with. Great little bit of bitterness on the back end. Fantastic drinkability. And well, I had a little look. I reviewed two of the beers from this company yesterday, and I had to. There was the, you know, the like the European language where you might have one of those lines above the letters. You know, like in France, you have beer with an E on the end with an I, beer, and then you have that little line, and you need to go into a website to copy and paste that line so you can use it on your YouTube videos. Well, I went on their website. Oh, I actually found a Czech bottle shop that was selling this beer, and it was so cheap. It was literally like, something like this in the UK would probably set you back £5, £6, £7 a can. It was like the equivalent of like €2.50 or like €3. Maybe even been a little bit cheaper for a 5% ABV. Fantastic quality Czech style American Pale Ale called Robin, and I imagine Robin is the hop. I imagine there's a hop called Robin. No, oh, there we are. Right, English: water, barley, malt, oat flakes, hop products. I promised to talk to you about number 12. I'll be really quick about this. Let's have another swig of beer. Look at that. Right. The Czechs have a numbered, instead of like you have your Saison, American Pale Ale, British Best Bitter, all these kind of other styles of beer. The Czechs have like a numbered system. So I think it begins at 10. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it begins at 10. So you'll have like number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13, and it goes all the way up to like 16. Maybe even more. But they use like this, and it might be It might be more of a strength thing. It might be more of like an ABV, alcohol by volume, numbered system. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to stand here and pretend I know everything about Czech beer. But it's categorized. It's 10, 11, 12, 13. I think it goes by strength, if I'm honest. But I like it. I really like it. Thank you very much to Michael for sending. Absolutely wonderful gesture just before Christmas. My apologies for the rain and the lights being on in the background, but I suppose it's a little bit kind of, people seem to find it a bit comforting, don't they, with the rain on the roof and the lights on. It's moody, isn't it? But it's a great beer. Great beer. I'm going to rate it. For me, that's an absolutely brilliant American Pale Ale. It's just got everything. It ticks a lot of boxes. Solid, drinkable, very good, very tasty, sweet, bitter, drinking all day vibe about it. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.